Okay, so I'm going to recircle the wagons. We talked about cow size, we talked about growth, we talked about feed efficiency, we talked about hybrid vigor. What's the most important thing you should be selecting for? You make that decision consciously or unconsciously every time you buy genetics. What's the most important thing? Feed efficiency. That might be, that's kind of a clue from our talk, but that's wrong. It's a fake out. It was a misdirection. You know? Conception rate, that's not it either. Yes, money. Show me the money, right? It's profit. Now, there's a little bit of a sneaky thing because it's not really one trait, is it? It's all those traits, right? How do we measure profit? Okay, which bull is more profitable? Do we calculate it? Can we calculate a profit EPD? I had the great fortune of partnering up with a guy named Dallas Horton when I moved to Colorado in 2003, and we were sitting around his desk about midwinter, and we had all these bulls on test, and he said, Lee, I've got these 2,000 cows up on my commercial ranch. Which bulls should I buy? And I start telling him, I say, buy this one or that line or this one. This one's high birth, low birth. This one's good on growth rate. This one's good on, we didn't have feed efficiency then, but this one's good on carcass, blah, blah, blah. I said, what do you want? He said, I want to make money. Which bull's the one that's going to make the most money? And I looked at him and I said, I don't know. He said, how are we going to sell these bulls if we can't tell our customers which ones make more money? He said, somebody must know how to calculate an EPD that measures profit. I said, oh yeah, there's these crazy guys up in Guelph and they do that. And he said, well, maybe you should call them and get numbers so we can run a profit EPD. So we did, okay? And since that time in 2003, I think I called you, Brian, and said, hey, can we do this? And Brian said, yeah, we got some smart guys that do this. So what we do is we look at how the traits affect income and expense. And in the simplest way, there's only a few things that drive income. It's weight at sale, reproductive success, and carcass value, right? So what's the stuff worth? How much of it is there, right? That drives revenue. We got pretty good EPDs for all those traits. Less for reproductive success, but for sure for weight and carcass, we have good EPDs. And what drives expense? Well, replacement female costs and labor costs and feed costs, both on the farm and in the feedlot, okay? And so the simple technology here that Bio's been doing on bulls here in Ontario for how long, Brian?
96 was the first index.
Okay, so 1996. So it's not really new now, right? It's been around for 15 years, okay? We calculate an index. We had one sort of custom designed for us, but it uses exactly the same technology that you have. We just tweaked a little bit of how it went in. Here are two bulls that are both really popular. Well, I'll say the bull on the bottom, retail product, is very popular in the Angus breed. The bull on the top was the bull that won the feed efficiency test for us. Okay, he's dead. There's no semen left, so I can't say he's really popular because there aren't much of them around. He would be popular if he's alive. How's that? And great, thanks to cloning, we're hoping to bring him back to life, but that hasn't happened yet. So they Bio calculates these profit indexes for us, and according to the run that Peter Sullivan recently sent us, the bull on the top is $13,000 on dollar profit, and the bull on the bottom's $7,800. It's based on 100 calves. That's a difference of $5,000 across those 100 calves. The simple way to think of it is $51 more a calf. Okay? Now, you say, 50 bucks, it's not so much, not so much. How many calves are you going to produce over the next 25 years? Okay? Just multiply that by the total number of calves you're going to produce over the next 25 years and add up that equity. Is that a substantial amount of equity to you and your partners and heirs? It does. It ends up being a big chunk of change. Okay? So we started calculating these, and we didn't really even believe them at first, but that's how it works, right? I can say that, can't I, Steve? We got this stuff, and we said, gee, if we're going to really find out if this works, we got to go test it, right? So we did the same thing. We said, does this work? Well, let me back up. Before I go into the testing, what is in dollar profit? This is a slide I made to explain to my customers what happens when you select for profit. I said profit looks at all those EPDs and how they affect the bottom line. It takes into account the heritability and the economic value, and it pencils it out in a real-world scenario. But at the end of the day, if you select for this, what happens? Well, I said it's really simple. If you compare the average bulls in our database on profit to the top bulls, birth weight goes down, weaning weight goes up, yearling weight goes up, milk comes up to an optimal level. The days to calving, or days to conception, I always call it days to calving, days to conception, gets shorter, so the cows rebreed quicker, right? The cow size comes down, even though the growth rate went up. The feed intake comes down dramatically. The feed conversion improves. The marbling goes up, the ribeye goes up, and the back fat gets slightly better, so the cow's flesh a little easier. Okay. I've been breeding cattle for a long time. Our families obviously had some success doing that. You can't do that going and picking bulls individually without the index. You can't do it. I can't do it. Okay? I went to a sale a couple of years ago and I bought 2 bulls out of the sale. They had feed efficiency data, they had ultrasound data, they had growth data, they had EBVs, they even had some DNA tests. I bought the 2 bulls. I got the data from the herd, I sent it down to bio, I ran it through our system, and they come back and one bull was an $8,000, one bull was a $14,000. I sent the $8,000 bull to a commercial guy because I can't use an $8,000 bull. Okay? If I can't do it, you can't do it. Okay? You can't balance that stuff in your head. Because you look at any 2 bulls and they're better or worse on a bunch of different traits, and you've got to make the trade-off as to how that's going to affect your bottom line. And so you can guess and you'll get it wrong. Or you can use a system that does it scientifically based on the markets and the science we know, and it gets it right way more often. Okay? And so this is the system we use. Makes them better on the farm, better in the feedlot, better on the rail. Does it work? We had to go out and test it, right? So how do we test it? We go find herds to actually breed them. Here's a herd in eastern Kansas. These are real-world results. 250 fall calving Angus cross cows, range operation with minimal supplements. The goals were to increase carcass weight, improve feed efficiency, and build a superior cow herd. They had fed their cattle historically at that feedlot where you get that 185,000 data points. They switched their entire battery of bulls in 1 year, 10 bulls. We sent them all of our top dollar profit bulls. They were fall breeding, so we had them available. We sent them to them and actually let them breed their cows. And we said, how do the calves compare this year to the ones out of the average Angus bulls they had the year before? So here's a picture of the cows. Here's a picture of some of the bulls. They were composites and Angus. Here are the steers out of those bulls on test. Here are the replacement heifers. I just put that up to say, look, these weren't special cows. The replacements we made were highly maternal. It wasn't a terminal cross deal. What happened on the outcome? Well, the year before, these calves are born in the fall. They wean them in August and send them to the feedlot. They went in at 683 pounds. They went on feed to gain 3.3 a day. They finished in February. They weighed 1,296 pounds. They went 70% choice. They were pretty good cattle. In fact, the guys at the feedlot were like, this is your test herd? You're going to beat that? Good luck, you know. Those cattle are pretty good. So the next year, under exactly the same moisture conditions as fate would have it, the weight as yearlings coming off grass was 90 pounds heavier. And everybody was pretty shocked. And they went to the feedlot and they gained half a pound more a day. And the feedlot was really shocked because they scheduled the cattle with the packer to come out of the packing plant in late February, and they were actually done in January, and they weighed 50 pounds more. Okay? $70 more on the ranch, about $75 more profit in the feedlot. We changed those calves $145 by just changing the bulls in a single year. Okay? That's the difference between average genetics and top 1% genetics in today's marketplace. It's real. Okay? You can touch it and feel it. In the feedlot performance, they were average the first year. They went almost up to the top 15% the second year. We have 3 herds that have fed in that database, 185,000 head. They've been using these high index bulls. Okay? They all rank up here in the top 5%. Okay? It's not chance. You can beat the antagonisms. You got to use EBVs, and you got to measure it in terms of dollars. So I ask our customers, where's your herd rank? How good are your cows? You got to sell your calves at weaning. Everybody wants a premium. Okay? Bad news is 50% of all your cattle, 50% of you in the room have cattle that are below average. That's just the way it is, right? Where do you rank? Are you making above average ones or below average ones? Do you know? Does it matter? Yeah, it matters. The value differences are huge. Okay?